topics today we want to talk about, starting with Kevin Conroy, who recently passed away. We'll bring up the scene so I can read the article for you. Kevin Conroy, who gave the voice to Batman for 3 decades, dies at 66. He was the voice of Batman for 3 decades across 3 dozen television shows, movies, and video games. He died on Thursday in Manhattan. He was 66. His health from intestinal cancer in a hospital was confirmed by his husband, Vaughn C. Williams. Without ever showing his face, Conroy spent more time playing Batman than any character who donned the character signature cape and mask on screen. His distinctively deep and raspy voice helped define the character in his nearly 60 different productions, including 15 films, 15 animated series that spanned 400 episodes.
Holy moly. Imagine 1992, the animated series. I am vengeance, I am the knight, I am Batman. That's so iconic.
In
I can't.
2016, Mr. Conroy was in an interview and said, "I've been really fortunate to have gotten Batman because he's a character that's just evolved. It's just been a character where you can ride the wave for 24 years. Keeping him alive, keeping him from getting just dark and boring and broody is the challenge." He was married to Mr. Williams for about 10 years, which is, just, I didn't know he wasn't married for a long time. I didn't know his orientation either, so.
I didn't know anything about his personal life now that I think about it, but definitely didn't know he was married to a man, and I mean, it's fine, whatever. But
Yeah, I
kind
mean,
of surprising.
yeah, I don't have any problems with it at all. I think it's cool that I didn't know that aspect of him and that I'm finally learning,
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people just keep quiet of their private life. And I think it should be a constant with a lot of celebrities because, I mean, we don't really need to
We don't
be
really
on
need to
top of
know.
that. Yeah.
Right. There's something I think classy about not announcing all of your relationship statuses to the whole world. Sometimes
It's
people
just,
just want to keep a private life.
and just knowing him just basically because of what he does and how good of a job he did is just the like the top celebrity or the top person for me, like top actor for me is like it's that the fact that I don't really need to know about their personal life, but just the work that they do is so great. Like he's Bruce Wayne, he's Batman.
I'm looking at his credits here, scrolling down. He started acting in 1978. He did some other stuff before. He was in an episode of Matlock. I don't know any of the other stuff that he did before.
Dynasty. I don't know that I ever watched Dynasty, but it's kind of like
There was a show called Search for
iconic
Tomorrow.
show.
Search for Tomorrow.
Never heard of it.
He was in 79 episodes of that.
Wow.
Wow. Cheers? He was in, I guess, 2 episodes of Cheers.
He was in O'Hara for 11 episodes, Tour of Duty for 12. And then he got his most iconic role in 1992. 85 episodes between 1992 and 1995 for Batman, the animated series. That was at the point his most significant role. He came back for Batman.
I thought he was in like Mask of the Phantom. He
Yeah,
did
he is.
that. Sub-Zero. I mean, yeah.
Let's see. He was in.
Not instantly we gotten there yet.
He was.
Wait, he's in The Office?
Oh wow!
A 1995 series. A 1995 series. A British.
Yeah, it's not like.
Is that the original? I thought the original Office came out in like there was a 1995 series called The Office.
No, this one is an office comedy version of the British series Upstairs, Downstairs. Centering on the camaraderie of executives and their secretaries of a busy corporate office at a design packaging company. This might have been what inspired The Office.
The Office.
Truth be
I was
told,
about to say, so is Ricky Gervais's Office a remake of this Office?
When did the British series started?
no idea. But it was only one season.
2005.
It was only.
Yeah. Well, that's
Oh, it's 2 seasons, 2001, the British Office.
Let's
Oh,
see.
but the one for Kevin Conroy, I think it was only
right.
Um,
He was only in one season.
but yes, going back to Batman: Mask of the Phantom, he was in that one. The Adventures of Batman and Robin, the video game. We've got another video game called The Adventures of Batman and Robin Activity Center. TV movie, the Batman Superman movie, The World's Finest. Batman and Mr. Freeze, Sub-Zero, Batman Beyond the movie, the new Batman Adventures, that was 24 episodes. He was Batman in the Superman animated series.
Yes, and on like Justice League 2. Oh gosh, that's like
Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker, The Zeta Project, Batman Gotham City Racer, that's a video game. Batman Vengeance, another video game. Batman Beyond, he was in 48 episodes of that. Batman Rise of Zintu, Batman Mystery of the Batwoman, Static Shock, he was Bruce Wayne in that one. Justice
that
League, he
is
was
awesome.
Bruce Wayne in that one. Justice League Unlimited, The Batman, Batman Arkham Asylum. There was a TV series called Batman the Brave and the Bold. Superman, Batman Apocalypse, DC Universe Online, he was Batman. Batman Arkham City. I love that game.
All the Arkham
All
games,
the
they're all
Arkham.
really
All
good.
the
Yeah.
Arkham, like it's so good. I never played Harley Quinn's Revenge.
Harley Quinn's Revenge is really good, and it changes your perspective on the entire game. I highly recommend playing it.
I'll have to go back through and get my hands on that one because I'd like to play that again.
I can't believe you guys have not played Harley Quinn's Revenge.
Oh
my gosh.
It's like
I forgot
like-
it existed. I forgot it existed.
No wonder, because I was like so surprised when I saw a Harley on Gotham Knights. I was like, why don't they use Harley Quinn more on the video games? And then I read that and I'm like, oh, they actually did, and I just didn't see it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it changes it totally Harley Quinn's Revenge like totally changes your perspective on that entire game. So I highly recommend you go back and play
So,
it.
Did you ever watch?
Anyways.
Did you ever watch Batman the animated series Halo?
Oh yeah.
My dad and I were really close during this period of my life when this show was coming out, and he and I would always sit together and watch Batman. That was my dad and my thing. He would always come and sit and watch Batman the animated series as well as Gargoyles. Those were the two things that I could get him to watch with me. What I didn't like about Batman the animated series is when they changed their art style.
After season 3.
Yeah, they changed their art style. I think they were trying to be a little bit more edgy and dark with what times were changing with the artistic style at that point in creative content. And I don't know, I just didn't find it nearly as endearing. I thought it lost detail instead of gaining detail. They were trying to simplify it, it seemed to me.
Well, they have simplified so much, like in the current cartoon genre or animated genre. Like it feels lazy, and I kind of miss the old cartoons because they were just better story writing. Now it's just
And then when they got to some of the later episodes, like I would watch it and there was a sizable difference between Batman, Batgirl, and Robin at that point. And I'm like, well, why did they suddenly make him tower over the other two? I get story-wise Robin became a different person. I get that. But why would they make Batgirl suddenly much shorter too and childish compared to the young woman that they made her in the animated series?
The original, yeah.
But then I thought they came back to form with the Arkham games. Like they took heavy inspiration with the Arkham games from the original of the Batman animated series because when they came out with the Batman animated series, they went with more like 50s detective theme.
Yes.
And they came back to form with this one. Characters looked pretty much the same. They did go with a very different story for or with one of the other advancements of Oracle from Batgirl. So you don't
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately you don't get to see Batgirl playing this because she's already been paralyzed and is Oracle in this. You find that out through discovering all of the collectibles and stuff and all of the character bios.
Yeah.
Oracle is clearly pictured in a wheelchair at that point. So she was already paralyzed and has retired from being Batgirl at this point of the story. Which, honestly I was okay with considering how they framed the game. Um but I loved the fact that they brought Kevin Conroy back for it, Mark Hamill, and even the voice of Harley Quinn. Fun fact,
Oh, really?
for the first game. They didn't have her for the second game, but for the first game, Harley Quinn was the original Harley Quinn.
Oh,
I
I
didn't know
didn't know
that.
that.
Yeah.
Eileen Sorkin, I think her name is. Uh,
I want to replay those games still so
Arlene
well.
Sorkin. I apologize. Arlene Sorkin. She was the original Harley Quinn. Fun fact, did you know that Harley Quinn actually originated in the animated series?
Yeah. I didn't know that.
Yes, I did know that.
Yeah.
She was not a character depicted in the DC comics before the animated series. She was completely and utterly created just for that show, but she was loved so much they made her a staple in DC comics. Kevin Conroy did I think he did all of the Arkham games, and he just brought so much to the role. And here's a fun fact: he was actually not a very big fan of comic books. He said,
They auditioned like 500 actors and picked him. And he wasn't even a fan of the comic books.
"Yeah, more than the show's producers have been unimpressed with more than 500 other actors who had auditioned, and were transfixed by the gravitas that Mr. Conroy brought." That's what Alan Burnett told the Times. Mr. Conroy said, "It's so much fun as an actor to sink your teeth into. Calling it animation doesn't do its justice. It's more like mythology." Mark Hamill, who played the Joker opposite Mr. Conroy's Batman, said in a statement that Mr. Conroy was the ideal partner and that he loved him like a brother. "Kevin was perfect," Mr. Hamill said. "For several generations, he has been the definitive Batman. It was one of those perfect scenarios where they got the exact right guy for the exact right part, and the world was better for it." Here's a little bit of background on Kevin Conroy. He was born in New York on Long Island, 1955. Raised in Westport, Connecticut, the youngest son of Thomas and Patricia Conroy. The youngest of Thomas and Patricia Conroy's 4 children, he grew up in a strict Irish Catholic family that splintered when he was 15 after the alcoholism of his father, an executive with Pan American World Airlines, drove his mother away.
Oh, that's sad. That's really weirdly worded, but it's really sad.
At 17, he received a scholarship to Juilliard where he started to hone his acting skills. He shared an apartment with Robin Williams.
What?
Lucky!
Oh, wow.
I bet that would be the
know.
coolest roommate in the world.
I can
That's
imagine
so
he was
cool.
probably pissing himself laughing every 2.5 seconds. Mark Hamill went to Twitter and shared a picture of him and Kevin Conroy. He said, "Stunned by the loss of this brilliant actor, words can't express my admiration and respect for the man. I loved him like a brother." And we've got, tweets replying to that where the Joker has lost his Batman. I'm sorry, Mark. And we've got plenty of GIFs and
Batman
replies to this.
I kind of like the picture. Like, it's sad, obviously, but it's like I can't think of a better duo of Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy. Like, they did an amazing job.
Well, there was even an episode of Batman the Animated Series where the Joker thought that the Batman had been killed and was trying to find the culprit who supposedly did it. I'm looking at the GIF right now, the clip right now, where he was about ready to kill the guy that supposedly killed Batman because he realized without Batman, crime has no punchline. So there was an entire episode dedicating to this kind of codependency that the Joker kind of had for Batman.
The premise of it. Well, I mean, there's a couple things going on, but which Arkham game? I get all the. Isn't that the premise of Arkham? Is it City?
I think
Or
something
I
like
get
that.
them confused. I get.
It was Arkham City, I think, but this is an episode of Batman animated series I was talking about.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's like a.
What is the codependency that Joker has with Batman? I guess that.
Yeah. I mean, Kevin Conroy did so much for this show. He
Yes.
brought a completely new life, and this was the one that I loved the most out of all of the Batmans. Kevin Conroy will always be my favorite Batman and Bruce Wayne. So
he's gonna be. Yeah, he's on top of the list. I mean, don't get me wrong. I grew up with Adam West on the old Batman classics with my dad. I used to watch that one and Green Hornet, but I think that his voice and just growing up watching the Batman the animated, just like you said, it's a staple in our lives.
Adam West is in kind of a class of his own in terms of being Batman. He doesn't. He is Batman, but like in a different alternate universe where Batman's funny and not dark. And
which one? Adam West, yeah.
yeah.
And it was so cool to see him back in 2019 when they did Crisis of Infinite Earths as Bruce Wayne, but then they also brought in Burt Ward, which was Robin in the 60s classic Batman series. So they brought a bunch of those together, so it was really nice Easter eggs on that yeah.
Sorry to digress, but have you guys ever heard the story with Burt Ward and what they asked him to do to keep that role?
Yes. I actually told my husband about that, and he said, no way. I'm like, yeah.
Have you heard this, Althea?
No, I don't. No.
They asked him to castrate himself to keep playing, so he could keep wearing the Robin costume pre-pubescently, or post-pubescently. Excuse me, post-pubescently.
I thought he needed to do like a medicine or some like injections.
Yeah,
like every week or something like that, just so that he could,
Yeah, they were putting him on hormone blockers so he wouldn't go through puberty.
Did he actually do what they were asking of him?
He did for a while, I think,
Yes.
and then he stopped.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When he realized, oh, this is probably not actually healthy.
Well, he has 2 children, so apparently it did,
You know, it was like the 60s, and it was not considered appropriate to be like,
hi, we've got a bulge.
showing your bulge. Yeah, showing your bulge on TV.
And when he's supposed to be like a younger than what he, I think, how old was he though?
I think by the time he finished, he's like in his early 20s. So.
Yeah.
On that really weird note, I give my send off to Kevin Conroy. Rest in peace, man. It was a good ride.